Well, Happy New Year, everyone. My name is Nate Carter, and welcome to today's Cornerstone Connection. And we're in a new year, we're in a new Bible reading plan. And each day we're going to bring to you just some thoughts from either the Old Testament passage or the New Testament passage for the day. Now, if you read the Old Testament passage for today, you'll find out why I didn't choose that one. But we're going to be in Matthew 5 here today. And this is a section of scripture called the Beatitudes. Now, as I just share a couple of thoughts about this, I do want to say, just as a caveat, that Pastor Andy here at Cornerstone did a fantastic sermon series on the Beatitudes, and I'm just going to scratch the surface of some of the things that he shared over several weeks. If you want to go back and listen to that, you can find it at cornerstonemarshfield.com in the messages section, and it started on September 20th, 2020, and so I encourage you to do that if you want a refresher. But I want to read to you the Beatitudes, these blessings that Jesus talks about in Matthew 5, starting with verse 3, and then just to share a couple of overarching thoughts. I want you to just be listening. What are the overarching themes that Jesus is describing as he talks about his kingdom? God blesses those who are poor and realize their need for him, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. God blesses those who mourn, for they will be comforted. God blesses those who are humble, for they will inherit the whole earth. God blesses those who hunger and thirst for justice, for they will be satisfied. God blesses those who are merciful, for they will be shown mercy. God blesses those whose hearts are pure, for they will see God. God blesses those who work for peace, for they will be called the children of God. God blesses those who are persecuted for doing right, for the kingdom of heaven is theirs. God blesses you when people mock you and persecute you and lie about you and say all sorts of evil things against you because you are my followers. Be happy about it. Be very glad, for a great reward awaits you in heaven. And remember, the ancient prophets were persecuted in the same way. This is really great timing. My daughters and I have been going through a little devotional together, and it happens to just be on the theme of blessing right now. And our devotional is coming out of God's blessing to Abraham. And so then there were a couple of days where we talked together about what a blessing is. And in Jesus's kingdom, a blessing is not what we would think of as something that makes you happy or something fun. These things, the poor, those who mourn, those who are humble, that doesn't sound fun. Why would I want that, let alone call it a blessing? Well, here's some of the things that I see as overarching themes in the Beatitudes. First of all, it's the theme of dependence. When we are poor, the idea there is we're poor in spirits. The idea of knowing that we need God, that we can do nothing on our own. Jesus said, "Without me, you can do nothing." It's the idea of humility. It's about God first, and me way down the line. And so God blesses those who are humble. God blesses those who mourn. That to me shows a desire to see the world God's way. And the mourning here is the idea of mourning over the state of the world, over the effects of sin in the world and all that it has caused in the world we live in now, to mourn over that, to long for better. So there's this idea of dependence on God, there's this idea of humility, and there's this idea of seeing things through God's lens. And as you read through these, then I think you'll start to see some of those themes coming up. And I wonder what is one of those areas where you need to ask God to grow you, to bless you in those ways, to bless you to be more dependent on him, to bless you to see things through his eyes, to bless you by being humble and putting yourself in the right posture before God, and he alone is on the throne and we are before him on our knees. I encourage you, as this connection ends, to take a few moments with the Lord, maybe ask him how he wants to bless you in one of those ways, and then to ask him to do that, and to look for ways where you can show that you're going to be part of God's kingdom and not the kingdom of this world. Doesn't seem like blessing, but in the end, it very much is. God's way is the best way. So be encouraged by that today. We'll see you next time on the Cornerstone Connection.